Oh, that makes sense. Struggle. Driving the struggle bus right now. Morning, y'all. How's everyone doing today? Is anyone going to get brunch? Can you bring me something? Cool. So today we are going to visit Miss Judy this afternoon, and I wanted to get another layer on this geode finished, so that's about to happen. Let me rearrange this so I can see what y'all are saying. Boom. Boom. Good morning, y'all. Hi, Sandy in Alabama. Heading to the coast to escape the 100-degree heat. I want to go to the beach. Alas, the beach is 4 hours from here. Whatever. So, actually, I'm going to put my hair more up than this. I want some blueberry muffins. Did you guys know that it's National Lipstick Day? So I encourage all you ladies and gentlemen to get out your favorite shade of absurd lipstick and wear it in accordance with National Lipstick Day. Get him, Terry. What's up, Molly? So, I want to go to the fair. Hi, Michelle from France. All right, y'all. Let me zoom you in on where we're at so far on the geode. That looks like a good camera angle. So, no worries, Mary Jane. You should totally give a geode a try today. I believe in you. You got this, as Stone Coat would say. And I believe it. I believe you guys got this. So today I'm going to use this resin that I've been using for the other layers. It's the Quick Coat. And I'm using this because, nope, there we go. I'm using this because I can do multiple layers in one day. And how amazing is that when resin usually takes forever to set up? Let me find the light and show you where we're at so far on this. If I can find it. Marco. I don't understand. Oh well. I'll just use the light on my phone. Doesn't make a bit of difference, however. Okay. So let's put you on. Where is my side camera? There it is. Okay. So this is where we're at so far. Focus. There's a lot of depth in that part. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just in there, because I did a clear layer right there. Anyways. So this is where we're at so far. On this guy. There we go. Now, let's see. caulking did hold up really well. I haven't had any breaches of any sort, so that's awesome. I'm gonna do a regular top coat on this one. Nope, not a top coat. Like another artist color coat. I don't know. My brain isn't working yet. It's too early. But I'm gonna do another one of those, and then I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna try another experiment. So I got this like Creatology glue from like Michael's or something like that, some hobby store, and it's just glue, but I feel like it shouldn't be a problem if I wanted to draw out something with this, like the outline with this stuff, and then try to use this filling. This is a thickening agent for the quick coat resin, and I want to see how much it thickens up your resin, and if it will allow for transparency at all. I want to do a lot of tests with this stuff, so I'm going to do this one, another layer, and then we're going to do a second geode test when this one's done. Thank you. I'm sure yours will turn out super awesome, amazing. Thank you, Cryptic Art. I did build up this layer with silicone like this. This is what I used. It's 100% silicone caulking. I didn't mix anything into it. I didn't do anything extra to it. I just used it to create this barrier. This is 3 loops around, and I guess it goes to my pinky knuckle, so it's like this tall. I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not. There you go. This tall. You have used glue and it works great. Good. So we're going to do that after we do this. So, cups. I'm going to stick with the more transparent colors. The higher I get in my geode, I think that the more transparent I want to use, because I want to be able to see all of the work I put into the other layers. So for sure I'm going to use clear over my glitter sections, the silver, and the white. So that's my idea at this moment. It could change as we go. Y'all know me. I change at the drop of a hat. Thank you, Crystal Dawn. How are you today? Joe Fish, I'm really impressed by this quick setting resin, because I'll tell you, I've used other cool, like fast setting resins before, and they turned white or like a milky color. I don't know if it's just the nature of things that set fast, it turns like cloudy or white, but this I haven't seen any of that, and it doesn't have any bubbles set up in it. It's really nice finish. I will tell you, it is super smooth, but it's not as glassy as the art coat. But I feel like if I don't like the surface of it by the time I get done with pouring the whole thing, then I could just do a flood coat of the art coat over the whole thing, because I intend to do a flood coat over it all after I pull it out of the mold anyways. So I feel like if necessary, I can do a flood coat with the art coat, and it'll give the smoothness, the glass finish that I like from that particular brand of resin that they have. Nope. I think I like the freeform better than on canvas. Thank you. And I'm not sure how I'm going to display this yet. I guess it depends on how thick, like how rigid it is. Because you'll know, sometimes you do something with resin and if you've done a freeform at all, or if you worked with skins, they're kind of malleable. So I'm going to see how rigid it is after 4 or 5 coats of resin, and then I'm going to play it by ear on how to display it. also, all 3 levels of canvases at Michael's are 70% off today. That's awesome. Hi, Yvonne from Kenya. Thank you. What's up, Sharon? Thanks for answering that question, Cryptic Art. Crystal Paints, if you have any kind of question, please don't hesitate to ask. Everyone in the room is really nice about answering if I happen to miss a question, but I'm here. If you want me to answer directly, just let the people in the room know and I will try to read it. Working on my geode, had a second layer roll off the edge a lot this morning. Let the stone coat sit for a bit. Yeah, you can do that. If you're using a resin that has like a long working time, just mix it in your cup, 2 parts together, and just let it sit for like 10 minutes and that'll thicken it up. Don't forget, when you use heat to pop the bubbles, it can reliquefy your resin, so just add minimal heat. Morning, Elisa. Thank you, airbrushing with Stuart. Can I call you Stuart, or do you want me to call you by your whole name? Thank you, Cryptic. All right. So with all resins, you want to mix the 2 parts thoroughly together, because if you have any parts not mixed together, you will have weak spots in your resin that may or may not fully cure. I've had that happen before. It is not a pretty sight at all. So let's see. I know for sure I'm going to want to clear coat some areas because I want this glitter. I want to see how this diamond dust does under a layer of resin. Is it still sparkly? Will you be able to tell it's there? Will it just lay flat? That's the test I'm working on right now with this. And I also know that I want to have a clear layer over this pretty silver line. I'm doing that so that you can see it through this layer of resin that we're laying down right now. This basically is a protectant so that I don't cover it up with other colors by accident or from it adjusting. There. That was relatively painless. Hi Brenda, how are you? What's up, Angela Stanley? Did you drink any Fireball this weekend? Watching you. That's a good technique, Lisa. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm sure that. Thank you for addressing that, Crystal. Also, Crystal Dawn, I don't use an air filter to reduce dust in my painting area, but we are thinking about moving this whole zone over to the windows so that we can create an exhaust. What's up, Val? Thank you, Christine. I knew it, Angela. I'll be here, Cryptic, most likely. All right, now let's get the next. I'm working in small batches. If you guys are new to watching me use this resin, I mix 1 color at a time, basically. And that is because this resin does set up so quickly that if you try to do too much at one time, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of just really nice paper weights. This resin waits for nobody. So I'm only mixing up a little bit at a time. I can probably get 2 colors out of this one actually. Excuse me, y'all. I'm pretty sure I'm going through summer allergies right now, and I think that's why I've been so tired lately, is from all the like Benadryl and things like that you take to not have allergy issues. Full-time RVers, that's so fun. Jeff and I have talked about getting an RV, like renting one to like go on a tour, I guess, across the states and tour with different members of the fam. But those are expensive, it turns out. Like, ridiculous, as a matter of fact. But one day we'll have our own. A greenhouse to do your art in. That's awesome, Michelle. YouTube isn't posting all posts. I'm sorry, Lucy. That's awesome, Angela. Makes me happy. Did you get your resin yet? It probably is cheaper to buy one of those. You're absolutely right. But short term, it's probably more feasible for us to rent at this time, kind of like our house. We are renting our loft space because it's better in the long run to buy, but y'all, I don't know if I could deal with all the stress and trials and tribulations of home ownership. I'm pretty sure. Our friend's house that we went to last night, they're having a baby maybe today, but she wasn't even like, she was due yesterday. We went over to their house and we took them a painting for their little baby girl, but I digress. What was I talking about? I'm sure it was important and it will come back to me, I'm sure of it. But now it's bothering me. Oh yeah, homeownership. Like they just bought the house and have already had to put like 60 grand into like fixing leaks and just things. All the things basically that I just call for maintenance to come fix. Hi Petra. Hi Natalie. So for this black, I usually would use that black, but I'm using an ink so that I get a transparent, I want it to be transparent so I could see all the pretty things. Also, I wanted to add glitter to this, I think. Where's my glitter? Please hold. Actually, maybe not. I think I'm going to use these. Well, I want to use glitter too. Oh, here's some. I got some black Stone Coat glitter. I'm going to add to this. Hi, Kelly. When you mix a powder or a glitter in, take your time to stir it in the beginning because you don't want it to just up into your face, which I've had happen and it is not a fun time. Crystal, that is a great subscription. Petra is amazing. That's awesome, Ellen. I don't even know that I know how to change like an AC filter. It's probably not hard to do. But in my brain, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I'm sure I could figure it out. So let's also do the white. That's awesome, Christine. Hi, Lisa. Also, you guys, with any kind of resin you use, the more paint you add into it, the more it changes the chemistry of the resin, and if you add too much paint, it can speed up the thickening process. Just a heads up. So it looks like the glitter that I added on the last layer came through really well, but all of the diamond dust has basically lost its faceting, and I kind of expected that to happen because when you try to use like any kind of crystals under resin, they'll lose the facets that make it sparkle. It just gets covered with resin, and so that part isn't very evident on the top of the resin. So lesson learned on that one. That's what I'm going to try to hang this with, Kelly, so we'll see. Thanks, Wondering. I'm going to add some more of this iridescent glitter to the white like I did on this one. Because who doesn't love glitter? Who? Oh, it's already starting to get warm. I'm gonna wait a second. That's awesome, Elisa. You're seriously thinking about selling your house because of all that? It scares me to think that I'd have to handle all that. All that stuff makes me nervous about home ownership. That's why I think that Jeff and I are gonna save up for a while before we buy a house so that we don't have to do like the fixer-upper type thing. Because I know with all the art that we do, all that will just end up inevitably on the back burner and nothing will get done in the house. It's a good black. I think you should, Lucy. Or when you come down here, we can do one. Right? All you need is YouTube. Hi, Megan. That's awesome, Kelly. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. Every time I add a new layer, I get fresh anxiety that I'm gonna cover up something that I like on the previous layer. That is not fun. That clear that I first put down is already setting up. So crazy. Is starting to set up as well, just in time. So now I'm just pushing this white to the edge of where I have the that clear laid down. Stuff is setting up a lot quicker today than it did yesterday. It is hotter right now than it was last night, so that may have something to do with it. That's awesome, Ellen. My parents live out in the sticks like that too. Right? Basically, now you don't have to live near a city to get, y'all, it's already set up, this black part. It's gonna start smoking in a second. Now turning to like hot glue, kind of. And it won't come off. Okay. So, moving on. The resin I'm working with is Stone Coat's Quick Coat. Okay, next color will be the aluminum from Eli Chem. Just slightly off. That there. All right. So y'all, did you guys have a great weekend? What did you do? I answered emails and tracked down packages from shipments that I should have had in forever ago. Sorry you guys if you're waiting on colors or resin or anything from me. I'm at the mercy of the suppliers overseas, unfortunately. Crystal, these ones are blue because they still have that film on them, and these ones were faulty, so I just used them so that they're not wasted. They had to redo another batch for me because these break super easy. The ones with the brown film on them do not break easy. These ones, I'm surprised that this hasn't snapped on me yet, actually, to be quite honest. They used a not strong enough plastic when they did the blue ones, so. That's awesome, Wandering Art. So excited for you. I did some art this weekend too. Jeff's got to finish these. I don't know if y'all can see him. He's got some pans to airbrush. That's awesome. New art rooms are always exciting. Okay. I'm going to add a little there, a little there. I'm just filling in areas that didn't get filled in when I did that, the white line, because the clear had already set up that I was attaching it to. And we want to do a clear, nope. Yeah, do a clear. And then the silver line. I think that will look just lovely. Maybe even another black ink. We'll see. I'm sorry, Brenda. Did I send you replacements? Are you still waiting on me for that? Just let me know and I will send them your way on Monday when I get my order in. That's another thing I'm waiting on. Supply and demand is not easy to estimate or control. I've learned that. That's awesome, Natalie. Happy birthday. Morning, Mariola. I'm glad you tuned in, Crystal. Now I want to make this aluminum tint just a little bit darker, so I'm adding just a drop of black ink to it to make it like a gunmetal color rather than just the aluminum that it was already. Sounds like a lot of birthdays happened this weekend. Which is awesome. just mixed a little bit more aluminum to give the inside of this a lighter line. I'll do a little bit more. But keep in mind, still have limited working time, no matter how much you wish you may have a longer working time. Perfect. So many Leos. I'm a Sagittarius. Don't hate me. Jeff is a Virgo. Libra cusp? Virgo Leo. I forget. It's so interesting to me to see how resin will push other colors back. Fascinating. Okay. Now we're going to hit with a little more heat. The first color we already laid down, this outside one, is already set. It's not moving at all whatsoever. But I still want to add some of these. Yeah, it's still tacky. So now I'm going to add some of these obsidian microflakes from Stone Coat. Oh, all right. And the package looks like this. Obsidian microflakes. They're not as big of flakes as like fish food. CJ's birthday too? I'm thinking I'm going to coat the outside with either silver leaf or these flakes. Because you know how the outside of a real geode is like real textured and interesting? I don't want to have just a regular outside edge. I want it to be as visually interesting as the rest of the work that I put into this, you know? And I'm gonna have to probably put a clear coat of resin over this because I know it's not gonna stick with the thick layer that I'm putting down on this right now. I should probably, I don't know. So many things to consider. Thanks, Wandering Art. Thanks, y'all. All right, let's get in for a close-up. See what y'all think. Well, I guess let's change the camera angle. That would make sense. Wish I could get a better image. Alas, this one is not the image getter that I had hoped it to be. But at least from this angle you can see the glittery parts, the flat parts. I wanted it to be like subtle glam, you know? Bye, CJ. So, I probably should go ahead and mix up. Actually, I'll do it when I do this other geode. Okay. So, let me get a couple other colors. Okay. Her. Let's see here. I'm just going to do it on a sheet of wax paper instead of this stuff because I'm not sure if it'll come off of that and I don't want to waste it. We're just going to put it right there. Just here. So let's change the angle of everything so that everything stays in view. Let's just flip this around. How about them apples? That was not as difficult as I thought it would be. Point for the home team. So, we're going to do this right here. And I don't know much about this stuff, but we're gonna work on it together. So, you know how I did on this one? I drew out my shape first. That's probably a wise decision. If I can find my marker. Marker! There's one. Okay, so this is going to be a smaller one, so I don't know what that is, but we're going to call that a design element. Blub. This is just a test. I have to remind myself, doesn't matter what the shape looks like, it is just a test. See you later, Lucy. Alright, I'm gonna need this hole to be bigger. I know, that's what he said. But it's true, so I'm gonna have to cut the tip of this off because I don't want to have to do that many layers around. So we're going to do it like this. Let's see how big of a wall I can build up. Seriously? Well, it looks like it's letting me create a pretty thick barrier. And I'm aware that I should let this dry before trying to put resin in it, but I'm impatient and I got a lot to do today. And if the worst case scenario is this doesn't let go of the resin, then I have a good outside texture already. Hi, Lisa. Oh, this is Creatology, just glitter glue from Craft Store. It is an e-philosophy. Thank you for that. I philosophize often, usually never in the morning, so this will be an adventure for everyone that has tuned in. I wonder if I could make this. Is that better than eScience? I think they're a joint course. You have to eScience before you can get to the philosophizing, or the other way around. I'm not sure. Haven't decided. No, I'm going to try to give this a second wall just to see what it'll do, and looks like it's holding on top of itself fairly well. And since it's a glue, a cold glue that's going to take a while to settle and set and everything, I'm going to make probably a dumb assumption, but an assumption nonetheless, that it's going to meld into itself and any little keyholes that were there are being filled in. Also an e-philosophy. Hope you guys don't mind when I experiment on the channel. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but I feel like we can find out together, shall we? We shall. E-theory. Exactly. It may work, it may not. Worst case is I will peel the whole thing off, sand it back down, and do a flood coat over the whole thing, and it'll still be something I can use. Marcy, there is a chance that the science of the glue will have a reaction with the science in the resin. 100% that is possible. It's completely possible. But you know what? That's part of my experiments today. Okay, so another part of this experiment is I'm using this filler stuff from Stone Coat, and basically I've seen a lot of people try to use like cornstarch and other stuff for some reason into their resin to get it to thicken up, but Stone Coat has this already proven stuff that they use to mix into their resin to make it like a crack filler for if you're doing a live edge table, or if you're going to resin over a countertop that has like tile and it's grouted. This is going to fill that. And so I'm in my head, e-theory, why can't I use just a little bit less of that to make it a thickening agent to stiffen up my resin, for lack of a better phrase. So that's what we're going to try right now. Oh, that's awesome, Julie. It looks like it's still holding its shape pretty well. Let me get you another camera angle. So like, it's like half of my pinky worth of height. So I'm hoping that it holds. We'll see what happens when we put heat on it. It may do something completely retarded. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that, I'm sorry, that came off wrong. It may do something completely out of the expected and go rogue. It may just bleh and melt everywhere. But we're going to find out together. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that so much. Where's my button? There we go. Right? I knew you guys would hit me with that's what she says. But you know what? Sometimes you got to risk it all for the biscuit. Okay. So even though their resin is no VOCs, this stuff is not that good for your soul. And so I'm going to put on one of these masks just while I'm mixing this resin. So you may not be able to hear me talk, and I may look kind of goofy. It is glitter glue, so if it does stay, it'll be sparkly. And this will not be used as part of this geode. This is a separate test entirely to see if this edging works, if it will peel off, if it will let go of my resin, and to see if this stuff works like I hope it does as a resin thickener. So yeah. So I don't know if this little thing goes on top, or I think it goes on top so you can form it around your nose. Shows what I know. Ooh, so fancy. Can y'all still hear me? Let me know, because I don't know. Okay, here's our cups. What do I do with this after I open it? I don't even know how to open it. I don't want to just rip a hole in it. Okay, so y'all, have you ever gone to open a bag of potato chips and know in your soul that it's gonna rip open and you're gonna have chips fly across your room? That's the vision I'm getting with this stuff. Okay. I'm treating it like it's a bomb. It's not that bad. Okay. Let me go ahead and mix my resin first now that I have that open. Y'all, having this mask on makes me feel like I am a for real scientist. So if I drop like some really big scientific words, I'm sorry, it is all because of the mask. And sometimes I use words that I don't know if I feel I'm playing the part well. So this mask is doing it right now. That is your warning. Have a great day, Robin. Okay. So let's mixy uppy some of this. I don't know why I mix so much, because this is probably well enough for this. My prediction slash thesis theory about how this is going to go down is that it's going to work, hopefully not work too well, but I think that that's going to make the resin cloudy, so it'd be something that you want to pour for like the entire ring of a color instead of building layers up. You're going to be building out, if that makes sense at all. Dr. E, PhD, for your services, for your convenience, I'm here to science you up. Yeah, I said that. What's up, ideas? I'm getting sciencey. That's what's happening right now. I'm kind of nervous about it, kind of excited about it. Your homeboy is asleep in there. I'm going rogue. That's what I do. Gangster scientist at your service. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, go. I don't want to waste all of this resin, so I'm going to, I should have mixed a littler batch, but YOLO. So let's mix color in first. I grabbed this emerald green from Just Resin. It is a very opaque color, so I don't anticipate much problem with that clouding if it does. Okay, gotta work fast. It's a very nice color. And what camera am I looking at? So it's regular consistency right now. I'm gonna put just a pinch of this other stuff in there. I don't know the quantities, but I'm gonna use a handy dandy stir stick. Oh my God, it looks like fake snow. Mix it up real gentle like. Ladies out there, have you ever used that like eyelash plumper stuff? That like you brush it on and it looks like you just shredded up a cotton ball. So one of those didn't do much, so let's do two. That's what this stuff looks like. It hasn't changed the color. And I looked on the website to see, it's a little bit thicker, to see what quantities it suggested. And it didn't tell me that much. Basically it just said add it till it's as thick as you want it. Sorry. Walked into that one. Yes, fiber mascara. Oh, Alicia, it's from a bottle. Okay. In comparison, it is slightly thicker at this point, but I want it to be like hold its own thicker. It mixes in really well. I was concerned for a minute that it would end up leaving chunks. And I also was concerned that it would considerably heat up the resin, but it hasn't yet, so all good signs. So it is laying out pretty thickly. That's good. Now I'm going to put some gold in there and some whites. Sorry, I'm not reading anything, y'all. I'm on a time crunch, and also I'm out of gold. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Would be while I'm on a massive time crunch. That my gold runs out, so this may be just a thin gold line. This is already starting to get warm, so I didn't add any of the thickening agent. Guess I could at this point, since I already have enough down that I wanted to. I can already see some of these particles floating around because I have gotten careless and just tried to hurry up. So I mixed some of that into this and then immediately poured it, and it hasn't changed the color of it from the first line that I poured out. So that's a good sign. Trash, trash, trash. All right, still got some working time. Awesome. White, black, black. Okay. Go ahead, Julie. Yeah, the thickening powder is why I'm using the mask, because it's very light and probably isn't good to breathe. I mean, I don't have any proof of that. It's just a hunch. I don't know if you guys can see what it looks like in there. But it mixes in well. I'm very impressed by that. Marcy, it might be. I'll call them and see what it is. Anytime you guys are nervous about trying something new, always remember you can start small. Do a little geode. Don't just start big. paper. Okay. Adding heat to the glue doesn't really do much to it. It seems like it pushes it, but I think that might be just the air. I think if I put like a lot of heat on it, obviously it'll melt because it is a wet glue. But I think not bad, I think. Also, let's see how well, the mold didn't take that long, hardly. I used the mask because I was dabbling in this stuff that is really light and fluffy and gets airborne. So you don't want to breathe that in. Should probably tape that shut and get a container for it. Containers on the to-do list. So let's see. You should, Val. Laura Taylor's done one of those. I don't know what the powder is I use. I can definitely find out. I actually just had that mask. It wasn't supplied. The silicone I used for this mold took like 20 minutes to dry. It doesn't take long at all. Also, oh yeah, I wanted to see how set up it is at this point. So let's switch cameras. Nope. So this is the one we did at the beginning of the video. And it is already set up enough to do another layer. All the way around. So that's where we are on this geode. I thought I would I thought this would be the last. I love how that silver veining does that. I thought this would be the last layer, but it turns out I have a little bit more room, and I want to make sure that I get this as thick as possible so I can see how durable it is, if I can use this for freestanding geode, or if I need to brace it, or if I could use it as table. All those things. So, Mary, you will absolutely be able to fix your geode in your next layer. Just remember that it's resin. It's just like on a canvas painting that you may do. You may not like the painting. I've done plenty of resin paintings that were horrible, but you can always do another layer. There's always room for another layer. Thanks, y'all. Laura! feeling well today, so it looks like we're going to be putting off our visit to go see her. Makes me sad. I just want to go cook her some soup. So it looks like we'll be also on at our regularly scheduled time this evening. Jeff is taking a nap. In there. Nope, in there. That's awesome, Val. Thank you, Dawn. So that's the current status about where I am with this. I'm trying to think what else I could do. I'm sorry it's so smoky up there, Laura. Hopefully you're not affected too horribly with the fires up there. Megan, what day are you going to be in Dallas? Car Harley, the small one I did with this glue as a test to see if it'll hold its shape, if resin will stick to it, if it sticks to my plastic. It is Creatology glitter glue. You can get it from any craft store, I believe. Thank you, Thyrexy B. My pleasure, Julie. Petra, I am going to add crystals. I'm going to, once I remove this, I'm going to take this inside part and I'm going to add crystals that are going in, like stuck on this way, that go in towards the center, so that they almost like zipper. They'll meet so that it's not really a hole there, but it is, but it will be really full of like interlocking crystals. That's my vision. Whether it works or not, no idea. Natalie, this sheet was sent to me from Flowzone Tiffany. I don't know that she sells these right now, but I did add what I think is the same thing in my Amazon link down in the description box. It is one of those, I'm sure some of your grandmothers may have had this. It's just a big plastic sheet that goes on like the dinner table or a couch, and it's thick and it protects your table from, if you have children that like to color on tables, or messy kids that may spill their food everywhere or whatever. It protects your table, and I'm pretty sure from what I've read that it's the same thing, so I have that linked in the description box. Tuesday through Saturday. Okay, just send me a text. Have a great time at Michael's Rusty. My pleasure, Dawn. I will put it in the description. Let me see if I can find it real quick on. Okay, found it. So, what are y'all's plans for the rest of the day? Are you guys gonna go have Sunday fun day? Brunch maybe? Mimosas? For the record, I have not sippy last night or today. I know. You're so proud. You're so proud. Ooh, that's doing some fun stuff. Remind me in a second, I'm going to get you up close to what this is doing. Because experiments are life. What is it? Was Creatology? Hi, Miz. Turns out it is not on Amazon, so let me try to find it on Michael's, and then I'll just link it directly. Aha. not to say that it is the best kind or the only kind or anything like that. And if you don't have access to a Michaels, then maybe you can just click the link and see what it looks like, so you can find something similar to that where you're at. For the record, I get no bounce off, no bounce back from this brand or Michaels, just so you know. The plastic that I'm using as a base is a 30 mil, I believe, plastic that Flowzone Tiffany sent me to try out. Don't know if she sells it, but as soon as she lets me know, I will start linking that. Also, after I find out how well this peels off, may change the game. But I have something similar to this linked in my Amazon description box. That's what happens when you have a big family of 20 people. Exactly, Tracy. Accidents happen, things spill, children will be children, etc., etc. So they have those big plastic things to protect their tables. Brilliant Brunette Blonde Moments. Clever name. To make the mold, it took 30 minutes because this silicone that I was using was a quick drying silicone, 30 minutes water ready. So I did 2 layers, let that set, did another layer, boom, good to go. Do not use folded vinyl. I don't know what folded vinyl is. How hard was it to create your free-form barrier, and what product did you use? I used this silicone caulking stuff, and it wasn't difficult at all. You just squeeze it out. I drew the shape first, then squeezed it out, let it set, squeezed another layer, make sure there's no leaks, like pinhole and keyhole leaks, and then it's good to go. You don't have to use one as big as you don't have to go this size. You can start here. And I just drew out the form with a Sharpie or any kind of marker to follow with the caulking, because once you start, you gotta keep on with it. What's up, pup? That's awesome, Chrissy. So, anybody else have any more questions? Pup, want to say hi? Come here. Puja wanted to say hi. I know it. I swear he can tell time. As soon as it hits noon, he's wherever I am, just ready to go. Just ready to go. Aren't you, baby pup? Know it. He just got a haircut, so he's super dapper. Thyrexy, they just came out with 20 new colors, so we had to amend our initial order, but it should be soon, super soon. We have all the agreements signed, everything finalized. Should be really soon when we get those in. As soon as I have an ETA, I will put all of their colors up for pre-order on the website. Mary, I'm not waiting that long between the layers because, as I showed you guys a second ago, this is already set. I could pour over it right now and it would be fine. This stuff is set enough to do another layer after like 30, nope, maybe an hour. Hour tops, you can do your next layer. Yeah, I had to do a little geode just to test out this black outer. Thyrexy, I don't have them up for pre-order yet because I don't know how many I'm going to have in of each color because it just came out with the 20 new colors, but I'll have them up for pre-order probably by the middle end of this coming week. I'll have pre-orders open for those. Thank you, Brilliant Brunette Blonde Moments. It really is. If you're going to be a successful artist, you have to have the grit to to do the hustle. It's just as much probably of an art as actually painting. It's getting your name out there. You have to be able to sell yourself if you're going to make it as an artist, because no one's going to toot your horn for you. I will be on tonight as well. This is currently my favorite resin, the Art Coat, and the Quick Coat for my geodes. I don't have any complaints with it. It sets up very nicely. It sets up quickly. The working time is just enough to where I can mix one color at a time without stressing, but with knowing that it's not going to bleed into my surrounding colors. So both of them are my favorite right now. Bananas. It is my job to do this, but I think the word job has a poor connotation to it, or a bad connotation, to where if something's a job, it's less desirable to do. And Jeff and I really don't look at this like a job. We look at it as something we love to do and are super fortunate enough to be able to support ourselves, our home, and ultimately our business based off of something we love to do every day. We don't look at it as a job, because usually people don't like to do the job. It's something we enjoy. We truly, truly do enjoy doing all of this. We enjoy doing the videos and interacting with all of you guys. We couldn't ask for more of a job, ultimately. That's very true, Mac. Quick Coat is what I use today for my geodes. It comes in a bottle like this. I don't think they sell units any larger than this, but it is a 2-part resin that sets up super quick. I don't know if some of you just tuned in, but let's give you another camera angle. Nope. So I did this layer while on this live feed today, and it is already set up for the most part. I just laid that down. Like, how bananas is that? Chrissy, it does not yellow. It has low VOCs, and it's got a really high UV rating. It's similar very much to Art Resin, and I think it's priced competitively with that as well. Is Stone Coat cheaper than what? Thank you, Dawn, for that. And this is our little geode that we did after the first one. This little guy. Focus. There you go. Now, I'm willing to bet that this is basically dry as well, because it has been setting for long enough. This is what I call tacky set. Like, if you touch it, you can pull up some of the resin, but it will be done setting shortly. It's far more set than the glue is, as you can see. The glue is definitely still liquid, but it's holding its shape, which is what I wanted ultimately. I'm happy about that. Chrissy, let me tell you, Envirotex Light will yellow. I have a piece in my car for, actually I can just show you. Alright, check this out. I had this piece in my car for a while, and it may not look that yellow. This is done with Envirotex, but compared this side to this side, it's definitely a yellower tinge. This bottom half, we put another coat over it to make it matte, and that acted as a sunblock ultimately for this coat. Now, if I hold a piece of paper up to it, you'll be able to tell how yellow it did turn. It used to be this color. So, definitely adjusted. As you can see, the bottom part is a lot closer matched than this top part. We did leave it in the car for like 4 months, and that is why it yellowed. Yes, the small one barrier was the glitter glue. This. If you did do countertops with Envirotex Light, or if you have artwork that you did Envirotex Light, the thing is, or any other resin that has a propensity to yellow, you can use something with a higher UV rating to coat over it, and it will act as a sunscreen to protect your painting that you already have under it. So that's awesome. Natalie, the glue that I used for the small geode is this Creatology glue. I have it linked in the description box, but it may not populate till the video ends. The big geode was molded with this silicone, 100% silicone, dries in 30 minutes, caulking stuff. Yeah, Chrissy, you can just coat it over with, Art Resin has a really good UV rating, Stone Coat's Art Coat has a really good UV rating, and I'm sure there are others, but those are the two that we use most often, and that will protect your painting from any future yellowing that it may be subjected to. So just think of it like a sunblock. When we first started doing resin art, we used almost exclusively Envirotex because it was readily accessible and it wasn't that expensive. And now I have experimented with other brands. I have 6 brands of resin under our workstation that we use depending on what we're doing. That's what kind of brand of resin we do. It will be interesting to see how this glitter glue dries. It hasn't moved or leaked or anything like that. And if I like it enough and it doesn't let go of the resin, I'll just leave it there and put like antiquing on the outside or something to give it a different look other than just glitter glue. We'll see. I can't take credit for the sunblock analogy. That was Stone Coat. I hand that to them. Does resin ever go bad if you keep it sealed? You know, I know that resins have a shelf life of about a year unopened. I think that it's still safe to use past the year. It just may be more likely to yellow after a certain point. Like I have some Promarine that I've had for 8 months and it is already starting to yellow. That being said, once you mix this with the part A, it will slow down any yellowing, so that's good. Oh, no problem. I need to call you something other than brilliant brunette blonde moments, but it's my pleasure. We're here to help, and we're so glad when you guys take the time out of your day, tune in, and see what we're doing with our day. Chrissy, a large pyramid mold, how large? Are you talking about like a foot? Because their resin, can you give me a minute? Moves, it's just trying to go out right now. You have to work with resin in layers when you're going really deep because you can't get enough heat down into it to release little air bubbles, so you'll have kind of a cloudy pyramid when you unmold it if you can't get the heat down there enough. So you have to do it in like layers about this thick so that you can release all the air that you mixed in when you put the two parts together. You can get a pressure pot and that will release all of the air that you have in your mold depending on how big your mold is. 12 foot. Awesome. But yeah, they have, their resin is used for like, you've seen those river tables that have like the thick blue river down the middle of the table. A lot of people use that and they have tutorials on their YouTube that shows how to do that. Some resins have like an air release agent. Mastercast 1-to-1 has an air release agent, so it's thinner, so it doesn't hold on to bubbles as tightly, so you have to use less heat. And it's a quick setting resin as well. Look into that if you have to order it from the UK. It's a good resin though. Y'all, you have no idea. He does that. He's like, he'll do that until I get up. He's already like, let me show you this little boy. He's in the hallway, like waiting. What are you doing, Moo? Okay, I'm coming. Ready to go? Go outside? Okay, let's go. Alright, you guys, I gotta take Moo out before he pees in my shoes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me give you the info if you haven't seen it yet. Looks like this. If you have any questions, hit us up on the email. And I know, Moo. Linda, my advice to you is to paint the base gray and use a lot of clear for negative space. Petra, shoot them an email. Put attention to Shay, S-H-A, and she'll help you out with shipping to foreign lands. Here's all the stuff. Check us out in all these places. And I will see you guys at 8 p.m. Dallas, Texas time, which is Central U.S. So that's 7.5 hours from right now. Yeah. Ready to go outside?